The elements are arranged in the periodic table according to certain properties. In 1869, a Russian scientist, Dmitry Mendeleev, first proposed this arrangement. It didn't look exactly like it does now. The periodic table can tell us certain things about the elements. It can tell us the atomic number. As you can see, the elements are arranged by atomic number as we go across the periodic table. The atomic number is simply the number of protons in the nucleus of that element. It tells us the atomic mass. The atomic mass is a weighted average of all the naturally occurring isotopes in a sample. It tells us the chemical symbol. The chemical symbol is a letter or series of letters that identify the element. They are based sometimes on their Latin name, sometimes their Greek name, sometimes a place, sometimes a Russian name. The families or groups or columns on the periodic table have very common properties. They also have names that we've given them to group them together. The first column is called the alkali metals. Hydrogen is in this column also, but it is not an alkali metal. It's in this column because it has some properties that are similar to the alkali metals. The second column, the alkali earth metals. Moving to the right, the last column is the noble gases. This column is called the halogens, and this column is called the chalcogens. These are called the lanthanides, and these are called the actinides. These, along this line here, are the metalloids. They're in between the metals and the nonmetals. All of these are metals, and all of these are nonmetals. Metals conduct heat and electricity, which means if one end of the metal is heated, the heat will travel to the other end. Electricity will travel through metals. Metals are malleable, which means when you pound them, they will form thin sheets and not shatter. Metals are also shiny or lustrous. Nonmetals have opposite properties of metals. They do not conduct heat or electricity. They're very brittle. When you pound them, they'll just shatter. And they look very dull. Metalloids have sort of in-between properties. They sort of conduct heat and electricity. When you pound them, they'll kind of bend out a little bit and kind of shatter if you pound them too much. And they're sort of in between, shiny and dull. There's one more way we talk about the periodic table when we talk about the rows. As we talk about the rows, we call these things periods. We have the first period, second period, third period, and so on. We'll talk more about these later, but these different periods are different energy levels. This is our introduction to the periodic table. We need to know more about what these properties are that organize these things in this way. The one we know for sure is that the elements are ordered by their atomic number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and so on, all the way down. Elements are still being discovered, and they're filling in the spots at the end of the periodic table.